Earlier today, my dad was talking to me and he said, hey, can I talk to you about something? And I was like, okay, I already know what you're going to talk to me about. And something that I think I've struggled with, I know that I've struggled with a majority of my life, is rejection. And I think that rejection has forced me inside of myself. And my whole life, I feel like, has been a journey of learning how to express who I am. And all of my raw emotion. And back in 2023, I really stepped into learning who I am as an artist and my identity as an artist. And my expression has been so raw because my emotions are so raw. And being vulnerable has been hard for me because I feel like so much of my past has been used against me. And when I build relationships with people, I'm very honest. I'm very honest about how I feel and what I see and what I perceive, and it's because I value the person I'm in relationship with. I'm honest. And if I didn't care about you, I wouldn't be honest with you about anything. Even if that honesty exposes some things that are uncomfortable, I would rather risk the honest conversation than live in a lie. And something that my dad was saying to me this morning was, Beck, I understand your art and I get it and I get you, but other people don't. Other people might not. And he said, you mentor young girls, and if their mothers saw what you posted, how do you think they would perceive you? And part of me wanted to be quite honestly, I don't actually care. But I do. And he said, well, maybe you should just talk about who you are so that people understand you a little bit more. And a part of me was like, well, that defeats the purpose of the art. Because the art is meant to expose the viewer. And that is teaching me something about myself. There have been so many people in my life that are like, do you understand the influence you have? Do you understand, I don't want my daughter acting this way or this way. Do you understand the influence you have? And I'm like, yeah, I do understand the influence I have. I do. I understand the severity of it. I understand the implications of it. And the art that I'm making right now is very much, the purpose of it is to expose the things that are happening in my life. And it's also to expose people. It's not naming them, but exposing a lie. And my art is meant to be a mirror. But then my dad, what he was talking to me about was, people are not going to understand. Not everybody's going to understand. And even him saying, maybe you should just make a video explaining yourself, the feeling that I felt was I'm done explaining myself. I don't want to have to explain myself to people. I feel like people already make judgments about me anyway. They talk shit on me anyway. They use my story against me anyway. Why would I explain myself to them? Because I already feel so rejected. Why would I explain who I am. They already made their judgment, and part of me wants, through my art, it's almost like I want to punish people and make them see themselves, to sit with their judgment. And part of it is mixed in love, because I desire truth. I believe in the truth and the freedom of living in truth, because for so much of my life I've lived in a lie. And so part of it is like, when you judge me, do you not also understand that you judge yourself? Because now you live in a lie. But then mixed in with it is like this anger. And I want to create through my art a mirror for people to see who they are and what they're doing. And in your judgment for me, you're not just judging me, but you're also judging other people involved. You're taking the voice of other people involved, because their truth is also hidden in my truth. And if you deny me my truth, you deny them their truth. And I feel like my innocence for so long has been stolen. So long. My innocence and my voice. And when I know that there are things said in rooms that I'm not even in, and by people who don't even know me, I feel like I'm being robbed. I feel like I'm being robbed, and I feel like I'm being abused, and I feel like I'm being stripped naked and shamed. And a part of me, because I've been exposed unjustly, I want other people to feel just as exposed. You can watch me and see me, but I also see you. And a part of me feels angry, like this is not right. This is not right. And then the other part of me feels like, if this is where God put me in my life, and this is a test that I'm going through, then do I despise the people who are rejecting me, or do I embrace God and understand that, like, okay, this is just a test and it's okay? And if it's a test and it's okay, then I don't have to be angry at anyone, even if the anger is justified, even if the truth is what it is, even if I tell my story and people use it to justify whatever judgments they have about me, even if, is God faithful? Even if I'm shamed, is God faithful to me? Yes. And in my sorrow, I think, through my art, I know, and this is like the power of my influence, is like, I know I could burn it down. I could burn it all down. And I want to, with everything in me, because I feel like, how dare you? How dare you rob me and rob innocence of not just me by covering for your own shame. But then I think, oh, in my life I've tried to cover for my own shame, and I've turned to anger and bitterness and resentment, and I've hardened, and I've stood in my position, unmoving and unyielding. And my art has been like a language. Like, my art is a language. It's a language. I'm saying something, and my dad was like, well, people don't know. And a part of me is like, well, art is supposed to, comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. I think there's truth. But then there's also this element of like, people only see one side of me through my art. They don't see the whole picture. And my dad was like, I've seen how girls look up to you, and I've seen the hugs, I've seen the worship, I've seen people moved, by your voice and by your worship, and I've seen people break and release and break open, and I've seen, how kids gravitate to you, and I've seen, it's like what you put out there is not all of who you are. And there's so much more. And he said, I want other people to see the more of you. And I feel it all